Okay, so I'm pretty excited about graduating this year, I hope. And with graduating, I'm sure, it's very exciting, but a lot of students, including myself, and I'm sure most of you as well, have debt. And after a lot of the students that are graduating recently have accumulated this debt because of going to school. And for those of you guys who are age 18 or up to 21, I'm sure you guys are holding at least one credit card in your pocket right now. And according to Sallie Mae, which is a corporation or a company that provides student loans to universities nationwide, said that undergraduates are carrying a record high credit card balances and average balance that grew up to $3,173. And this problem has been so huge, in fact, that federal law has been enacted, which is the CARD Act, that pushes the limit of an 18-year-old not having a credit card up to 21 years old. And so my claim is to even exceed that, is to increase it past the 21 years old, so that student debt could be minimized. For the reasons that, first, college students are not knowledgeable about credit card policies. Most of us probably don't even know what interest charges are on those credit cards, as well as those annual fees. And I'm sure if you had a late payment, you probably don't even know how much those fees cost. According to the CNN Business article on April of 2012, only 15% have any idea of how much their interest rate is, and fewer than 1 out of 10 students know the interest rate, late fee, and over limit amounts. Also, college students are unaware of their spending limit. They, according also to Sallie Mae, 60% are very surprised on how high their balance had reached, and 40% said they have charged items knowing they didn't even know how to pay the bill. Secondly, most of the younger college students carry multiple cards, and these comes into acquiring debt exponentially. So according to the Journal of Financial Counseling and Planning, almost 70.7% of college students in their study had more than one or more credit cards, and more than 68.2% getting their first credit card at the age of 18 or earlier. And when you accumulate these cards, most of the college students don't even have kind of jobs that could suffice paying for them, meaning that a lot of the jobs are just part-time jobs. According to the Institute of Education Science, National Center of Education Statistics, a lot of us, 70% are only part-time college students that will be able to pay this off while you're at school. And my third is obtaining a credit card at a younger age can accumulate a lot of debt prior to graduation. According to Nellie Mae, which is a sub-company of Sallie Mae, they said that by graduation, most students have more than double their average debt and almost triple the number of cards they hold. And the most dramatic, however, is a 70% jump from occurring between freshman and sophomore year in the percentage with at least one card. And also, aside from that, the charges that are being placed on these cards are not only for education purposes, but are also for other expenses. Aside from you charging your books or your tuition, another expense that are being charged are your food, clothing, and cosmetics, which are on the top 4 ranked expenses that you charge. So by increasing the age limit, you will kind of be freed from this debt prior to graduating college. So you don't want to be stuck with this tab while acquiring your diploma, knowing that you probably won't even land a career that you really want. So, thank you.
Well, I think the personal references at attention device is fine. It sounds like you're advocating a policy claim, and I think that that's a little bit problematic since this is supposed to be a claim of fact. There's a discussion of what the Credit Card Act is, or the Card Act is, that you're talking about. It pushes the limit to 21. That makes it sound like people who are 18 to 21 are not allowed to get credit cards. If that's the case, you need to say that. I'm not sure, if that's already the case, then why do we continue to have this problem? Because the vast majority of students graduate pretty close to 21. I mean, some linger on a little bit longer. I'm sure some of you are over 21. But that means that those sophomores that you mentioned aren't going to be getting the debt in the future. That was something that you're talking about on the past. On the other hand, if that's not what it means, then I'm not sure why it's been introduced and how it's supposed to be something that we can use for comparison purposes. The other thing that immediately occurred to me is that if it has been put into place, then there should be some data that shows that the debt is decreased as a result of that. And then your suggestion about increasing it for a couple of more years, for example, then at least we would be able to tell if that would have some effect. But at the moment, we don't have any data that suggests that that effect is taking place. So if this law has been put into place recently and it has worked, that seems to reduce the significance of the problem. If it hasn't worked, that seems to undermine the need for the claim that you're making. And if we don't know, that's where you need to build a stronger argument, and I think that that's a little bit problematic. I don't think there's much doubt that people have a lot of debt and that they often don't understand their debt, so that just seems like it's informative in nature. The inferences that you're trying to make would be that a policy like this would be successful at reducing that, and I think that that's where the weakness in the argument is. I do think you do a very nice job, though, speaking to the audience. You're very calm and authoritative when you're talking to us. The internal points are signposted, although they're often not signposted as claims, and I think that that's a problem. There also wasn't a preview at the beginning, and I think that that's something that you want to do because it'll make it clearer how all of this fits together during the presentation.